I came to visit one of the smallest country on European continent, the former British colony with a population of just 32,000 people. I came there to get a crypto license for our cryptocurrency business. How this small country shaped up one of the first crypto regulations in the world and what disadvantages Brexit brought to it in this video. Watch this video until the end and you'll see from the business perspective how it looks like when you're trying to build a regulated crypto exchange. Actually, I truly nerd content. That's why in this video I'll mix that with a travel vlog. So I'll show how I traveled to Gibraltar and the life of Gibraltar country with a population of just 32,000 people. So we traveled with a transfer in Zurich, Switzerland to Malaga, Spain, where we arrived pretty tired, late in the night, but luckily the staff let us in around 1 a.m. This is the room of our hotel. Its name is U Hotel. Looks really great. A lot of small things inside the room, everything very new, so actually a very great hotel. Next morning I woke up and went for breakfast in the hotel. Spanish cuisine is it's much better than the British food, which I was expecting in Gibraltar as the former British territory. And I'll give you more insights about the administrative part of this story, as it's not very easy to understand what is UK, what is Great Britain, what is British overseas territories, and what is different for all of that. The breakfast was good. A lot of Spanish dishes. You know, they like baguette and a lot of ham, stuff like that. English food, I really don't like that, and I never met anyone who said they like English cuisine. And just to give you an example, this is the English breakfast I had in a traditional London pub, and this is the English breakfast I'm having here in Thailand, cooked by obviously Thai chef. And leave in the comments how you see the English food, or and how you can compare this English breakfast from inside from England, an English breakfast made by Thai chef who I expect never even been to England. I would say that to me the English food is pretty similar to the North American one, and I literally cannot eat that. If I have for example, this is a dish I had in Gibraltar, and I had heartburn almost for several days after having that. So I was pretty excited coming back and going back to the Asian food. I enjoyed my breakfast and went outside for a walk to see streets and morning routine of Spanish town Malaga. I walked by a real estate agency and mentioned that the prices for apartments in Malaga aren't cheap at all. You can see that some apartments prices reach around €1 million. However, the square meters it is pretty huge, 100 square meters, sometimes 200 square meters. So it's definitely less expensive than, let's say, in London, I guess New York or Vancouver. But still, I was expecting seeing smaller prices in a small town in Spain. So it's not Madrid, it's not Barcelona. However, it is on a coast of the sea. So yeah, pretty great place to be in. I was really amazed about streets and the vibes of Malaga. I realized that after spending a year in Asia, I missed Europe a little bit. And Spain is, oh my God, easy to be missed, unlike English weather, for example. Even the minor things like brands, and trust me, I'm not a shopping person like at all. But still, when you see the brands you haven't seen for a while, with all the usual lifestyle for you, something in all of this makes you feel like you're at home. Our taxi arrived and we drove over to a border of Spain and Gibraltar. We had a good chat with the driver and agreed to catch up on our way back. Now it's time to talk a little bit about European administrative stuff. So there is European Union, which unites European countries, making travel, businesses and regulations easier for its members. So it's more consistent across all the members of European Union. Yeah, there is a United Kingdom which includes England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. Inside United Kingdom is like the same with European Union. You do not have borders with between England, Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland. You can move freely, the same as in European Union. Gibraltar, however, isn't a part of the UK, but it is a British overseas territory, like British Virgin Island, Cayman Islands, and other, making it 14 British overseas territories in total. So even it's not the UK, but linked with the UK in a certain manner. For example, when UK exited European Union a couple of years ago, so Gibraltar did as well. The practical implication of that is that now when you leave Spain and enter Gibraltar, you have immigration control between those two countries, unlike before. Before, when you move between the countries which are members of the European Union, to be honest, it's Schengen zone, but let's simplify that. Let's call it European Union. You don't have any immigration control. You can move freely between Spain and France, between France and Germany, etc., etc. So I got in a queue in the middle of European tourists, and we started to move towards Gibraltar with them. When we entered a very small building with just one immigration officer inside, I didn't even understood that it's a border control. Spanish immigration officer was talking by a phone, and tourists were just showing him the passports without even opening the page with the photo. So did I with my Ukrainian passport, just showed him. Also, he asked with a gesture to me that I should give him my passport, even without stopping talking by phone. He stamped the departure from Spain without checking this passport with any system. He just took it, stamped it, and immediately gave me back. And holders of European Union passports don't need that. They still can move freely between Gibraltar and Spain. We went out of this small building, and I expected to see the border control of Gibraltar now, but it appeared they didn't have one at all. So technically you can come there and stay there as long as you want, I suppose, as they do not have any border control checks that this is a date when you entered, Gibraltar, and you should leave until that date. So yeah, pretty unusual. We saw a British-style red bus, and after asking for a way towards our hotel, we hopped in. Two drivers were casually speaking in Spanish and said that the departure should be in a few minutes. So we took the front seats and started to wait. While we were waiting, one woman came inside and started to speak French to the drivers, and they casually started to reply to this woman in French. And I thought, because trust me, my knowledge about Gibraltar social life was pretty limited. So I asked them, is it common for people to speak French in Gibraltar? And they said, yeah, it's pretty common. People usually, a lot of people speak Spanish because of it's very close to Spain, obviously. And a lot of people also speak French because there are a lot of former French colonies in Africa, and the ties there exist as well, I guess. So, it looked pretty cool when the bus driver can speak English, French, and Spanish. The amazing set of languages, I would say. After our bus took off, we started to move across Gibraltar streets. Very narrow car moves on the right side of the road, unlike in the UK where they move on the left side. However, British pound is widely accepted there along with euro. I read that the official currency of Gibraltar is Gibraltar pound. However, we didn't find one. Even when you're trying to withdraw cash in local ATMs, you get British pound, and it's not easy to get euro only if you dig and try to change the settings. This is really a small country. They even had to extend runways of its airport, and there are not so much space on its actual soil to have one. This makes Gibraltar a really unique place, which is uh, with its culture visibly affected by its British history, but geographically so close to Spain, which is very different from Britain. So it feels like you use a teleport once you pass through that small building called border control from Spain to Gibraltar. I must say that the general cost of living there is much higher than in Spain. It's very close, or even higher in some areas than London. The funny thing that the country is so small that when you filter a 5 stars hotel in Gibraltar on Booking.com, you have just a single 5 stars hotel called Sunborn, and it's on a ship anchored in a marina. We checked in there and spent the next 5 days. We had 2 days of rest and then 2 days with all day meetings with the local regulator called Gibraltar Financial Services Commission, or GFSC. GFSC introduced a license in 2018 for crypto exchanges, which is based on 10 principles. I would say that this is so far one of the best processes of assessing businesses for being a crypto exchange I have ever experienced. It's very detailed and covers your business's financial crime policies, IML practices, customer due diligence, financial crime, cybersecurity, and corporate governance, and a lot more. I spent like 7 years working full time for a crypto exchange, and I have a lot of practical experience. And I would say if I were a regulator, I would have a similar process of licensing crypto exchanges as GFSC has now. The big disadvantage, though, is because of the departure from European Union, the license doesn't allow you to serve European customers. Before Brexit, I would consider this jurisdiction as the best for having a European headquarters. But now it lost its attractiveness because European customers can't be served through it, but it is still pretty solid for the rest of the world where there is no specific crypto regulations. It is less and less countries without local crypto regulations, though. Feels like the best time to have this license was since 2017 until 2021. Another common for crypto, but still weird in terms of consistency, that Gibraltar has its crypto license, but local banks do not open bank accounts for the licensed business, as they are regulated by different regulators. Banks are regulated by the National Bank, and crypto exchanges are regulated by GFSC. It is pretty not consistent, obviously. So you get a license in Gibraltar, and then you go to other countries' bank asking to open the account for your business because local banks don't open it. So imagine you have a license issued in Gibraltar, but the local banks in Gibraltar do not open account for you to accept customers' deposits and withdrawals. And you expect that another country's bank will open your account seeing that you have Gibraltar license. So it feels like the foreign banks accept the Gibraltar license, but local banks do not accept this license. Yeah, looks a little bit weird. After the meetings with regulator, we usually came to local pubs, which look like a typical English pubs for a pint of beer. The life in Gibraltar looks very relaxing and slow. I spoke to a local who told me that online gambling is a big sector for Gibraltar. One day I was leaving our hotel and saw that it held a conference about gambling addiction. In general, Gibraltar looks like a nice place, and I definitely admire them for being one of the first places to create crypto regulation regime, which is still very relevant and up to date, and assessment is comprehensive, which made a good reputation for this license.